Marilla was upset that Anne wasn't there to make dinner. And it's kind of a it's kind of a she had a good point making, getting upset that Anne wasn't there to make dinner. But in a way, all it did was put her back to where she was before Anne came to the house. So in the year and a half that Anne had been at the house, Marilla had gotten used to Anne. And the chapter ended with that was her way of saying that she liked it. So Marilla is starting to come around to Anne's chatter and foolishness, which is a massive change because Marilla was all no nonsense and dour and closed off, and now she's happy to have Anne's chatter, which is cool. Um, Anne dyed her hair. She was told that the dye would be black, and it was sort of a green. Now, it may dye some hair black, but not Anne's. Um, and the reason for that is different hair dyes different ways. For instance, if I wanted to dye the gray out of my beard, that takes a different type of dye than if I wanted to dye my hair because the beard is thicker and the hairs are thicker. And because they're thicker, the dye doesn't penetrate all the way, and so you get this sort of half dyed effect. Anne had very thick hair, so that could very well be a reason why it didn't work. It could also have been a dye that was intended to be applied to gray hair. Now, gray hair dyes differently than other hair. So, if you have someone with blonde hair, someone with brown hair, it dyes differently than gray hair does because the gray hair is caused by a chemical bleaching. As you get older, the body starts making peroxide in weird places, and the peroxide destroys the coloring of the hair. So the hair is actually colored, but then it gets bleached as it's growing, so it doesn't actually show up as. If you hear commercials where they talk about free radicals, um, that's what it is. That's the peroxide. That's what actually causes the hair to go gray. I don't know if anyone has ever done any studies that, hey, the antioxidants that eat up the free radicals keep your hair from going gray quite as fast. I don't know. Probably somebody has. And probably somebody's tried to use it for marketing. I don't know. But she dyed her hair green, or the hair ended up being green. And so green is this, and it wasn't even a good green. Um, so Anne wasn't happy with that, and nobody was happy with that. And one of the things that I thought about this that kind of amused me is that copper, what pennies are clad in, they used to be made out of, is a soft metal, but it's very red. And so it's you can tell copper right away. You can tell an alloy of copper right away because it's red. And when copper rusts, it goes green. So this red and green is very much what you see out of copper. The Statue of Liberty, for instance. The Statue of Liberty, the outside of the Statue of Liberty is coated in copper. But because of the weathering, the copper is turned green. It's formed an protective outer oxide layer, and so it's green. And if you were to take like a file and scratch down on the Statue of Liberty, underneath you would see the bright, bright reddish gold copper color. So so her hair going from red to green is kind of cool. Um and there was some racism in this book. That was that was common back in the 19th century. Yeah, it's like don't let any Italians in there. Well, guess what? You're Italian or partially Italian. Um, Shan comes from Cianflione, and so that was an Italian name normalized to Shan coming to America. Oh, here's an interesting bit of trivia that I learned recently. No names were actually changed at Ellis Island. So there's a whole bunch of people who say, oh, this was so and so, it was changed at Ellis Island. Shanflione was changed to Shan. Dallenkovich was changed to Dallin. So bunches of family names have been changed, supposedly at Ellis Island. But the thing is that it wasn't actually changed there. Because what happened was when the people got off the boat, they had the ship manifest. And the ship manifest said, this is Bob Jones. And so the immigration person took the ship manifest, wrote down Bob Jones because that's what was on the ship. And Dallenkovich. But it was written down Ygnatzy Dallenkovich. When he came over on the boat from Lithuania, the person on the boat, the person who was taking his name as he got onto the boat and the list of passengers, Ygnatzy Dallin.
No.
No?
Dallenkovich. It says Dallenkovich.
It says Dallenkovich on the import?
Yeah.
Okay. It's a bad example. Anyway, whenever the people came over, they were given the names when they came off of the boat. There was an interesting science fiction movie, and it then got made into a short run of TV series and a couple of TV movies. It had this huge, it had a big fandom. It didn't really make much money, but it was popular, and the people who watched it loved the show. And it was called Alien Nation. And it was about aliens who came down from space. Their ship crashed. And it crashed, I can't remember, crashed in California because, it's got to take place in LA. Anyway, so the ship crashed, and you have all of these aliens, and the aliens are going around. And so part of the show was subtitled with the aliens speaking their language. And the aliens looked like humans, except they didn't have hair. And, bald heads, and they had these spots where the hair would have been. And they had a whole bunch of different cultural things, and the biology was similar but not exactly the same. So they could eat human food, and but they couldn't tolerate salt water, so they went nowhere near the ocean. And it actually dissolved their skin like acid dissolves ours. But anyway, that's not the point. The point was that when they came, they were assigned names. And they were assigned names. And the main character, his name was San Francisco. Or Sam Francisco. And his partner was like, no, whoever did that to you was cruel. You're George. He's like, okay, I'm George. And so he went around as George for the rest of it. It was only like in the movie where it was like his name was Sam Francisco. But after that he was George, and he had his wife and kids, and so you had this whole different thing. And it was a buddy cop sort of thing. You probably could never make it today, but anyway, it was cool. It was cool in the late 80s, early 90s. Anyway, but that was the naming, and a lot of the show dealt with racism, because that's one of the ways that science fiction can be a great way to deal with racism and talk about racism. Because if you have the aliens, here you have the aliens, and, you can make fun of the aliens without making fun of a particular type of person. Although Star Trek has often sailed a little too close to the wind with that, where, oh yeah, these are obviously supposed to be Jews, or these are obviously supposed to be black people, or these are supposed, and so you have these things where it's like, yeah, didn't quite get there. But anyway, racism bad.
Hold on.
Hold on.
Yeah, don't close yet.
I'm not closing. Lolly has something that I forgot.
Nope.
Nope.
I just wanted to show. Oh, crap. I just lost it.
Uh oh.
I'm coming.
Okay. Lolly's coming. She's going to show something on her phone. Something on her phone. What do we got?
We have the ship manifest.
Awesome.
Can you see? He is that last. I don't know which way to go.
That's pretty much it.
That's his name. He's that last name, and he came over with others, and that's the other lines under it.
And those are pictures of Lolly when she was little.
But there's his name.
Ygnatzy Dallenkovich.
Can you see that? Page 42 of the manifest. On the, I can't read the name. The SS Coronia. Sailing out of Liverpool. Page 42.
Cool.
And you can see that arrived August. Does that say August 1907?
16 August 1907.
Page 42.
Cool.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Lolly. Anyway, so copper, red, and green. I can't remember what else I was going to do. I think that was the basic thing that, Anne was embarrassed about the hair dye, and yeah, a lot of bad dye jobs are self-done, and I don't know.
That's when it sailed. It arrived.
Oh, it sailed then.
It arrived on August 21st, 1907.
August 21st, 1907. So what, that's 8 days? Something like that? 7 days? Not a bad time.
I think that's the 18th.
18th?
So depending on 18, 19, 20, 21.
4 days. Not bad. Yeah, not bad really for crossing the ocean. Coming from Liverpool, home of the Beatles, where they originally came from. But yeah.